Okay, we're live. Welcome to the People of Earth live show, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm not that creative, so I just kind of just go with comes to mind at first. Well, tonight it's a very special edition. I'm always trying to help out the heliocentric community and help them with their arguments, like my last video on NASA's budget and how it's really nothing, and that helps the heliocentric community and with some ammo in their fight in the comment sections. But I am the people of Earth and not just the people of globe Earth, so tonight's going to be special, and we're going to take a moment and we're going to help out the flat earthers. We're going to help them with a model, help them decide on choosing a model. Like, if I go over to my browser here, you always see this comment, and after a couple of years of us globe heads taunting the flat earthers, saying, oh, where's your working model? You don't have a working model. You need a model. And they try to throw some things like the planisphere at us and the AE map, but after a couple of years we've debunked it all, and now they cry sour grapes. Now the flatties, they just say we don't need a model. And I saw this comment in the section the other day. It said models are pseudoscience. Oh, that broke my heart. That broke my heart. I mean, to think that this flatty just gave up on trying to find a model, and I couldn't let that happen. I mean, I lost some sleep that night, and so this morning I'm just like, you know what? We need to help him out. We need to help him out with a model. And I go into my hard drive and I open up the directory, and man, I had all these videos of flat earth models, all kinds. I mean, just a nice variety. I mean, there was so much to choose from, and I'm like, well, I need to help them out. I have the research. I need to share this research. I mean, becoming a flat earther is the most important decision in your life. I mean, it takes a lot of dedication, and it could be a road of hardship. I mean, you could lose your friends, your family, your coworkers will talk behind your back. I mean, you got to spend money on like buying a P900. You got to go drive and go to these conventions. You got to defend off trolls in the comments section. I mean, you got to spend hours and hours doing research on YouTube and watching these videos like over and over again. Then you got to share the videos, so you got to make sure your friends. I mean, it takes a lot of work. And sometimes, especially, like if you're in a van in the parking lot of a Starbucks coffee shop, you got to steal their Wi-Fi. I mean, and then you got to watch YouTube that way, and man, that's rough. And you gotta sit there and do all your research in a parking lot in a van. I mean, some flat earthers have it really rough. And, I'm just here to consolidate. I mean, I want to be a warehouse of information. I mean, I want to share my knowledge. And so I created this comprehensive list. I consolidated it, I put it together, and, I want to share it. It is the most important decision you will ever make, and that's impotent. That's IMPOETANT. And so if I got knowledge, I'm going to share it. Whoever it helps, whatever I can do. But this YouTuber Aussie Disciple he's just given up on trying to find a model, and he just says sour grapes. We don't need a model. We don't need a model. Everybody needs a model. You need a model to cling to and hold to and to share with others. I mean, isn't that what life is about? So we're going to start right here with the basic one. This is the classic flat Earth map. We all know it. I mean, this is the one that the UN supports. So there has to be some validity to it. I mean, it can't just be complete nonsense. I mean, it's on a map, for God's sakes. I mean, it has to be true, right? So, but it's kind of 2016, you know, it's kind of outdated. And a lot of people, they don't support it anymore. But then we have the square Earth, or also known as the biblical Earth. I kind of like to call it boob Earth, because there's like this little boob here, you know, for the northern hemisphere, kind of bulges out. You know, it's kind of sexy, you know, nothing wrong with it. But some people, they're not really into that, or they just might think it's a little outdated. I mean, it's not necessarily the latest innovation in flat Earth technology. So, but that's okay. We have plenty more where that came from. We have plenty more. Let's see what else we have here. Well, we got space turtle Earth. You know, nothing wrong with a nice flat Earth. You know, on the back of 4 elephants, on the back of a turtle, and oh, you know, that's kind of cool. You know, people that like animals, they like turtles. You know, like space. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's something that I could support, you know, as a fellow animal lover. But maybe there's not enough turtles. Maybe you need the turtles to go all the way down. You know, this makes a lot more sense. Because, you know, they're going to ask, well, what's the Earth on? You're like, well, it's on a turtle. What's the turtle on? It's on another turtle. This is logic. This is what a lot of people like. And I even like these little dinosaurs up here in the corner of the ocean there, sticking their little heads out. Now, if you want something a little bit more modern, we got convex Earth. You know, there's not really much evidence of this, but, you know, you can make a nice 3D model and you can show your friends and you could say, hey, I support the convex Earth. You can tell other people about it. You know, it's pretty neat. The Brazilians love it. They're behind it. They made a documentary. But then you also got nutsack Earth. You know, this is a little bit different. You know, some people that really just want to put it all out there and just say, hey, you need to research nutsack Earth. You know, there's a lot of truth to this. And, you know, this is an up and coming one. I even did a little video on nutsack Earth. Go to my channel, check it out. I might just convince you.
But before we go into full flat Earth crush mode.
Yes, before we go into full flat Earth crush mode, we got stereoscopic Earth. Now this one's a little bit unusual, but, you know, figuring out the shape of the Earth, you know, no one ever said it would be easy.
Examined some awesome new model details and happily put heliocentrism in a hurt locker once again. First, I must briefly pause after last video's unveiling of a brand new flat Earth model to express my sincerest gratitude for the overall outstanding reception and consideration that it received. Seriously, for everyone out there who contributed their thoughts and offered genuine support, including constructive criticism or advice, I just have to say thank you all.
Well, you're welcome. I mean, hey, I was one of those guys in that comment section giving you that constructive, helpful advice. I'm glad he appreciates it. You know, I didn't call him out on his BS or anything like that. I wouldn't do that. I'm here to support the flat Earth and the flat Earth community. You know, I'm not just about the heliocentric model. I want to help everybody.
Very much from the bottom of my flat Earth heart. And for all those who wanted to know, yes, the new flat Earth model does indeed include a 360-degree enclosure of ice and land encompassing it.
See, he knows how to sell it. He is a salesman. He knows how to sell his model. He's like, hey man, I got an ice wall. I got this funky shape. I'll even bedazzle my model and really sparkle it up. I mean, he's there to sell it. And this is what you should do. This is when you fully support your model, this is what you do. You push it, you sell it, you do research, you make videos, you upload it, you share it, you talk till you blue in the face.
So I added a white border around the perimeter, but please remember, Antarctica is a continent separate from any ice wall shown.
Oh shoot, I just told him I was behind his model. No, you can't have an ice wall and Antarctica. I mean, come on. Well, I don't know if he's really done a lot of research.
Reputed to be drawn by Chinese priests, the manuscript was hidden away from authorities for centuries. However, a letter found claims that the map was actually drawn by Buddhist priests much earlier.
See, this is what we need. We need ancient knowledge, infinite plane Earth. I mean, hey, science is all about infinities. We love it, don't we? Isn't everything infinite? I mean, it's not just on paper, right? Right? I don't know. Well, the Japanese, they figured it out, or maybe it was Buddhists. I don't know. They changed their story, but you know, this is why the knowledge is hidden, because they don't know.
The article goes on to read, the map was found by my brother in a Japanese temple in the mountains of Japan, said Dr. Kabayashi. It has been hidden from the Japanese government in modern times, just as it was in ancient times. For in olden days, such a map would have been destroyed by the authorities.
This begs the question, why would the authorities be so concerned about a map that they would destroy it?
It's simple. We take a ball and we call it Earth.
Look at that. This is what we call it, gigantic Earth. Now, you guys may not be familiar with this one, but, you know, once again, I am at the forefront of knowledge and flat Earth and globe Earth technology. This is how I decide my model. You got to lay them all out on the table, and then you got to choose which one makes the most sense. Well, this one's gigantic Earth. Be prepared to have your mind blown.
We surround this ball with another ball, and we call it the plasma belt. Then we take the sun and we let it shine on the Earth. The Earth is giving a reflection on the plasma belt. And on the plasma belt, we see our own reflection. The reflection is...
What do you think? What do you think the reflection is? What do you think that reflection is?
Surprise! The moon.
Oh, it's the moon. Oh, I thought you guys were going to say myself. Oh, shoot. Well, this is why you got to do your research. This is why you got to do your research, guys.
What do you mean the moon is the reflection of Earth?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Where are all the rivers and the forests? Yeah, but let's suggest that Earth is 1,000 times bigger than we are told. Then the moon is a reflection of a gigantic big Earth. So, let's move over to the flat Earth. It's simple. We take the flat Earth and we zoom in into the moon. And then we see all those circles, the so-called asteroids impacts. Well, let's suggest that one of those asteroid impacts is a flat Earth.
Ooh, I like that. I like where this is going. This could be big. This could be real big. It could be gigantic.
That would mean that we are surrounded by other biosystems.
Right.
So
you like that one, huh? Well, you know, sometimes that might be a little bit far-fetched for people. I mean, I like it. I like the reflection being the moon. It kind of makes sense. Well, you know, some people, they're not as secular. They're more religious in their beliefs. So they're going to want a model that, you know, fits their religious beliefs. And, you know, the boob earth may not be right for them, or the biblical square earth, but don't worry. Don't worry. We got another one for you. We got another model that would totally fit your religious beliefs. It's Christmas tree Earth.
The angels stand at the four corners. He sits above the circle of the earth. He casts the heavens out as a tent for us to dwell in. Right. Remember? Got good old Polaris. The North Star, because the North Star is in the direct center.
That's right.
Of the Earth.
Makes
Polaris.
sense.
A pole would hold the middle of the tent up. Polaris.
Hilarious. That more like it. I mean, come on. That's some straight science there. Polaris. It's the pole, man. It's what's holding up the firmament. See, you guys haven't thought of that yet, have you? Well, this guy has, and he is spreading his knowledge and wisdom throughout YouTube.
It's all perfect, people. Okay.
It is perfect.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes, you know, people born in the 60s or even the 80s, they got more of an abstract way of thinking, and they would want a model that really fits them. So maybe they don't like Christmas trees, maybe they like squiggles.
Now, on this Earth, half of it is a simulation. It's being projected from this side, bouncing off of what you would call the dome, and being projected onto this half of the Earth. Now, obviously, what you would call the dome here is what I would refer to as the demonodron, right? Which is represented by this random line of squiggles that you see above. Now, it's rotating in this direction, right? So you could see it spinning, and the sun is in the very middle, and this actually spins around this. Now, it might be hard.
See, now he used what we call sacred geometry, and that's how he devised his model, and it may not make sense to a lot of people, but you also have this route. This is what I like to call honeybee Earth. It's all the heavenly bodies just floating around the center, like some magical, mystical, invisible flower. See, this is God's creation. I mean, he really knew what he was doing. We don't need gravity. Gravity would ruin it all. I mean, what we need is the hand of God right here. And honeybee Earth might be the model for you. A lot of people might like this. I mean, this could be a model that might suit your needs. I mean, you really just got to do your research. You got to do your research and look at all these possible models. The heliocentrics, they only have one model. I mean, they're pretty much stuck with it. But as a flat earther, you get to choose. Now, another one that's really popular, especially, with the video game enthusiasts, is the Pac-Man Earth. And, it seems a little confusing at first, but I think if you hear out Mr. Darren Nesbitt, whatever his name is, but he is Mr. Pac-Man Earth. So let's hear him out. I mean, he has a model too.
Heavenlies provide much of the reason why the majority of thinking people still believe the ball in outer space theory. Because whatever its shortcomings, and they're pretty obvious, that model does at least explain heavens and astronomy fairly well. So for many flat earthers to ignore the heavens, saying, well, the sky can't tell us the shape of the ground, you're writing off most of the world's amateur astronomers and all those who want to know how things like day and night and seasons and stars might work on a flat earth model. Psalm 19 tells us the sun goes from one end of heaven to the other end. This can't happen on the Gleason's disk model.
No, it can't. No, it can't. It really can't. And Mr. Darren here, he really knows how to put a nice video together. He has the 3D models, check. He has the biblical verses, check. He has angelic music in the background, check. And he sounds like he's eating a sandwich as he narrates, check.
The sun's circling round and round in the middle of the heaven. And a circuit is any loop, anything which comes back to where it started from. Circuit actually rarely refers to a circle in real life. And the word circle's normally used. I mean, these are all circuits, but there's no circles here, are there? And the Bible's unmistakably describing this type of model. To claim otherwise is to form a view from preconceived notions, to fit with an idea that someone else has suggested.
I know what you're thinking. I know exactly what you're thinking. Where's the ice wall? You know, I was thinking that too. But I'm sure he has an answer. I mean, he's not just gonna just let the oceans just fall off the edges. I mean, that wouldn't be good for a model. I mean, what kind of model would that be? I mean, personally, I can't get behind a model without an ice wall. I mean, you know, the turtles are cute and all, but without an ice wall, it's a really hard sell for me. It's a really hard sell. But you know what? He has everything else. I mean, he got some biblical verses. I mean, the music, the 3D models, the nasally muted monotonous voice. He has it all. So maybe he has an answer. I mean, we can't just discount a model, you know, at face value. We really got to listen to see what he has to say. I mean, a teleporting sun and moon, you know, floating across a square plane, you know, it could work.
And one that doesn't actually match most of Scripture, except for one or two verses. And I've included over 70 verses here supporting this model. And not just that, daylight hours are also easily explained with a sun that goes straight across the face of the earth and starts again in the east once it reaches the western end. This is how day and night work on a flat earth. This is the December solstice. And this is the June solstice. Very, very straightforward.
It is very straightforward. I mean, this, if you look closely at this map, this is precisely, you know, what we see. We see the sun lighting up of, you know, the entire Soviet Union and Australia, and also the western half of the United States, Alaska, and simultaneously. I mean, this is what we see. I mean, there's no denying that. I mean, the fact that Antarctica is, you know, 20 times the size it should be, you know, well, how do you know how big Antarctica is? Have you circumnavigated or Antarctica? No, you have not. See, you can't judge these. You really got to listen to them.
Small and local, and like I say, because of refraction.
Oh yeah, of course, refraction. I mean, look at this shot right here. This is an excellent model. This shows very, very closely to what we see. The entire Earth illuminated, with the exception of Antarctica. But, you know, we can simply just say Antarctica doesn't exist. You know, we don't need to have a perfect model. Just one that really fits us, one that we can, you know, personally identify with.
It lights up about half of the Earth at once. That's how we get the, you know, the day and night, and obviously it'll move between the tropics over the year, giving us seasons. And then the moon travels a lot lower than the sun. It's actually lower, you know, because Mercury and Venus never transit the moon, so it must be outside of their solar orbits, and we'll show that shortly. But also solar eclipses. You know, they can occur almost anywhere on Earth, because that's, you know, the difference in height as these two bodies are zigzagging between the tropics over the month and the year. That's why we can get eclipses almost anywhere. Again, the circle model can't explain that, and because,
you know, he's right. The circle model cannot explain these sinusoidal lines or paths of totality. Now, you know, when there's a solar eclipse, you know, we get these lines of shadow that go across the Earth's plane in a sine wave pattern. And, you know, the globe Earth model cannot explain this. I mean, the only way you could explain this would be as if the Earth was a sphere tilted on like axis at maybe like, I don't know, 20 something degrees. And even that, you would still need the moon to be offset like maybe 5 degrees in its revolution around the Earth. And, you know, we don't have any evidence of that. So, you know, that just doesn't work on the globe Earth. So this just might work on Pac-Man Earth. I mean, these shadows, these lines of totality, you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what Mr. Darren says.
The moon travels slower. It's quite straightforward why the shadow of the moon goes from west to east. But it also explains why the shadow of the moon isn't very large at all during the solar eclipses. Despite it's supposed to be over 2,000 miles across, and it's pretty much next to us as far as the sun's concerned. It's clearly, you know, a lot closer and smaller than we've been led to believe, and this is why we can also zoom in on it so well and see so much detail.
Well, I mean, you're only going to see that kind of detail if you have something like maybe like a well, not a telescope. What else would you use? Maybe a P900? I don't know. I don't know if that's really accessible to most flat earthers. It's kind of an expensive piece of equipment. You just might have to take his word for it.
You know, with our amateur telescopes and P900s.
Oh, he does have a P900. Oh, great. Oh, great. I was kind of worried there.
Can't do that if it's 250,000 miles away. It's not possible. So the solar system is a geohelio system as envisaged by Tycho Brahe. The planets still orbit the sun as we're all taught, but the difference is that the sun's passing over the face of the fixed Earth with the system in tow. And we see the transits of Mercury and Venus across the sun, so they must be very close. And this model also explains why we see the retrograde motion of the wandering stars. Mars must orbit outside of the length of the Earth because, you know, it never transits the sun, it never comes in between us and the sun. And then there are 4 further outer planets. I'm only illustrating Jupiter and Saturn here for brevity, but I believe there are 7 wandering stars in all in the system. Remember, these are all lights in the sky. They're not massive solid or gaseous bodies, like they try to tell us. So, you know, here's the solar system that you're used to. But it's perpendicular to the Earth rather than Earth being within it.
So you see his flat Earth model. It's just kind of rotating around or revolving around the central point. What that point is, I'm not sure. But hey, he has this thing rendered in 3D, and it seems to work. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't support this model. I mean, it's not like it's bizarre or anything. I mean, a square pizza-shaped box floating in space. I mean, hey, I've seen weirder things on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Genesis says the Earth came first, the Sun, Moon and stars after, all on the same day. And this makes perfect sense with this model, but absolutely no sense with the heliocentric vast universe Big Bang model. This is why the wandering stars remain within 18 degrees of the ecliptic as well. By the way, the planets don't orbit underneath the Earth or anything. Once they've crossed the Earth plane, they'll appear back at the other side. Just like the stars do. I mean, this model can also easily explain the known and observed motions of the stars all over the Earth. So as we look north, we'll see them rotate anti-clockwise, almost around, Polaris. And then we look east and we see the stars rise straight up, exactly as observed in reality. And then if we look to the south...
I mean, if you look at that, he's right. That's exactly what we observe in reality. I mean, this nice, sharp 90-degree angle, I mean, I've seen it before. I mean, you obviously don't see curvature when you go out to the beach.
The stars are known to rotate clockwise in the seemingly opposite direction to the north. And not only that, but the constellations are different. They're not merely reflections of the same stars, they're completely different. There's only one set of stars. There's no reflections going on. Again, unless somebody has proof of it, and there isn't.
Yeah, you really need proof. You need proof. Darren Nesbitt, I'm sure he has proof of all this. I mean, he wouldn't make 24 videos on a Pac-Man Earth if he didn't have any proof, right? He wouldn't do that.
And then as they rise in the east, they set in the west. The stars travel straight overhead east to west along the celestial ecliptic. Again, there's no way for the circle, the one-poled dome model to explain opposite spin of the stars like this. But here we see it plainly in front of us. It also, can't explain why the stars travel straight in parallel to the equator, straight above our heads. If you track Orion is the most obvious example. It travels straight. How can it do that if they're circling around a dome with the Polaris in the middle of the top of the dome? Like I said, but the stars rotate around two poles and travel as one mass rotating over the Earth every 23 hours and 56 minutes or so, east to west. And the stars also never change position relative to each other. The constellations are fixed, and there's no evidence they've ever changed at all, which means they're rotating around us. They're not independent suns or flying off in different directions around the galaxy. This is a plain observation anyone can make if they've not been pre-programmed to think otherwise. And the stars rotate outside of the Geo-Helio system, so we can see the wandering stars in the system dancing against the night sky, some retrograde, some prograde, but all part of the planetary system that crosses with the sun. So really this model successfully explains all the motions of the heavens over a fixed plane Earth, which is what our senses know is reality.
That was pretty mind-blowing, huh? But you didn't see that coming. Now, sometimes you don't need narration to explain things. You just need a kickin' techno track and some pretty lights and some bizarre filters, put over your 3D model. But this is FPV Angel's ancient blueprints, and he believes that the Nazca lines in southern Peru hold the key to finding the entrance to heaven or hell. I don't know. I forget. But see, that's the problem if you don't narrate. You just throw some techno music in there.
So where I'm putting this yellow dot.
Now, this is a personal favorite of mine. This is Bro Sanchez. And he has some secret knowledge too, and he is more than happy to share it with all of you. So let's, this is a clip from a previous video of mine, of one of his live streams, and he's explaining his Aho and a PoE Earth. And it's pretty interesting. I mean, you can't deny the science in this.
That's the North Pole. That's a hole and a pole. I repeat, it's a hole and a pole. So, we're on Earth now. Alright? And let's do this. Hold up, excuse me. This top part here can be looked at as the northern hemisphere, and this bottom part can be looked at as the southern hemisphere. I said sphere, but let's say plane because we're on a flat Earth. Now this spins around, guys. The red S and the blue S spins around, and that's what gives each of these hemispheres night and day. Can you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So night and day spins around this hole right here, which is simply darkness. Alright? And you got less light and bright light going around no light, which is darkness. And this S, this red S and this blue S is constantly spinning around this hole, giving night and day, splitting up the earth evenly, where you see this line at. This line is spinning too.
Okay. It's a little tricky, so I'll take a second to explain this. Okay, so this line is spinning, and these are spinning, and this is spinning the opposite way, and this was the northern hemisphere, and this is the daytime, and then this is the southern hemisphere, and this would be the nighttime, and it matches our observations. I mean, this hemisphere here, right here, the top half is day, and the bottom half is nighttime. I mean, isn't that how it works? I mean, you know, it's not like I've been to space or anything. I can't, you know, I don't know. I mean, I just gotta take these interpretations, you know. So let's see what else he has to say.
Spinning with them, and we're on the Earth plane right here. And what's causing the spinning is the arch plane above and the arch plane below. One spinning clockwise, the other spinning counterclockwise, and that's what gives us night and day right here on Earth, in the middle. And it's going around us, right? So we want to take a trip to this hole in the middle, right?
Okay, we're going to take a trip to the pole in the middle. The Aho and the PoE model. I mean, you might like this. You might like this. It might make sense to you.
I'm telling you, it's just taking a trip inside of yourself. Everything break down when you get to this hole. Ain't nothing there but you. When you go there, it's just darkness. It get darker and darker the closer you go to it. To the point where it gets so dark, you just wake up again, like a dream. So this is where what you call physicality merge with the dream world or the spiritual world. This is called teleportation. So the closer you get to the North Pole, the darker it get, and you basically going into your own sleep or your own darkness and waking up wherever the fuck you want to. This is how we travel. And just like it's never gonna be too.
That's how I travel. I mean, that's some really insightful stuff. So, you know, how you guys liking these models? I mean, any of them jumping out at you? You know, there's really no reason we can't find a model that best suits your flat Earth needs. I mean, we have a variety of them.
Here we see 3 going around in circles.
This is a favorite of a lot of women. This is the vibrator Earth. You know, women might like this. You know, if you have a hard time convincing your girlfriend that the Earth is flat, or your mother, your mail lady, the lunch lady, you know, the people in their lives, you know, you might want to introduce them to this. They might like this. They might really get behind it. I mean, this might be something they can really get on top of.
Now, some are oscillating faster than others, but they're all generally going in a circle. and they are now going to oscillate in a lot of different ways as well. Here you see the original oscillation to the different types of patterns you can create while doing your big oscillation. So this is a double oscillation. And here you can see that all the planets are also moving up and down over their oscillations as well. So we have a big oscillation, and then a pattern within that as a secondary oscillation. Then we're moving up and down as a third oscillation, and they're changing patterns over time and could be adding and removing other oscillations. Who really knows?
Who really knows? Who really knows? That really summarizes, you know, the search for the shape of our planet. I mean, this is probably one of the most complicated things in human history. I mean, in 2,500 years, we haven't figured out the shape of the Earth. I mean, we have all these models, and we really need to look at them all, analyze them, you know, be scientific, do some experiments, do some research, and, you know, we will find the shape of the Earth. We will figure this out.
You can also create different types of oscillations based on the different wave type. We are known as a sine wave. Everything is fluid. There are also sawtooth, triangle, and square wave types. This is also used a lot in music production. We'll go into that a little bit more later too. But you can see that these patterns create beautiful shapes, and they also depict our time, our seasons, our summers, winters, when the planet's breathing, opening and closing. That gives us all of our different oscillations. These oscillations also explain the various lunar and solar eclipses. Think about it. In certain oscillations, the sun will be going in front of the moon. In other oscillations, the sun will be going behind the moon.
I mean, we see that all the time. We always see the sun going in front of the moon. I mean, these aren't absurd ideas. I mean, we can walk outside and see this stuff all the time. I mean, I'm sure there's photos. I'm sure there's whole photo albums of these happenings that he's explaining.
Or vice versa.
Exactly. I mean, look at that. I mean, this matches our observations.
And that probably happens with all the planets. That's why sometimes you'll see people ask, why do I see 2 suns?
I do.
3 moons or whatever.
I do. I've asked that. I've asked that before. That's really funny he says that. I mean, I've asked myself, why do I see 3 moons and sometimes 2 suns? I mean, he's really on it. I mean, he knows what he's talking about.
Various variations and phenomena that we see. Generationally, these patterns have been tracked to some degree. If you actually pause the video as these are going around in their circles, you'll start to create amazing shapes. And if you
he said pause the video. I think this is some kind of interactive video. Do you guys see any shapes? I mean, it's paused. Do you see anything? No? No? Okay.
Connect all the planets and the dots, so to speak. You'll...
No, I paused it again. Did you see anything? He said pause the video. I'm having a hard time seeing anything. Maybe I need to go cross-eyed or something. I don't know. Maybe there was instructions in his video description. Maybe I missed something.
See where the yin-yang symbol comes from.
Oh.
Positive negatives come from. Color theory comes from.
Do you see it?
Frequencies come from. Everything.
Did you see the yin-yang? Man, maybe I'm not woke. That's the only explanation is I must not be woke. I don't see anything. You didn't see it? Anyone in the chat? No? Heat shield's hypnotized. Oh, jeez. All right. Maybe you should look away. Maybe you put your head on your desk. Close your eyes. Take a rest. Yeah, I don't need you to get dizzy.
Basically, comes from these oscillations. It is a beautiful...
So that's...
Okay. Wow. We covered a lot of ground. Here. I mean, what was that? Like 1,100 models we looked at? I mean, there's no excuse for a flat earther not to have a model that he can't get behind. I mean, you really need to have a model, something to support. I mean, well, maybe they weren't explained well. Maybe the narration wasn't good. Maybe the 3D models, maybe there wasn't enough diagrams, or maybe you like a little bit more mythology in your model. Well, Mr. Martin Kenny here, oh, he has something. I like to call him Babyface, and he has a nice cosmic egg Earth, and he's from South Africa, and well, we all know the UK produces some of the finest flat Earth models that the world knows. I mean, that has to be one of their #1 exports, are flat Earth models, and they seem to have a grasp on it, but it doesn't seem like too many people are jumping on board with any of the UK models. Well, we'll see. South Africa was a colony of UK, so maybe he has something. So I imagine he's going to do a pretty good job explaining it. I mean, he has his T-shirt, he has his flat Earth T-shirt, and he has his models. It looks like made out of aluminum foil and I don't know, maybe a bicycle tire. I don't know. Well, I'm sure he's going to do a really good job explaining.
That's what I've done. I've syncretized mainly. Did
he just say syncretized? I think he just said syncretized. I don't know if that's a word, but neither are like the laws of perspective, you know, atmospheric lensing. You know, sometimes you got to make up words to get your point across. It doesn't really matter that it doesn't exist in the dictionary or in any kind of scientific respect, you know, but sometimes you just need to make up a word to get your point across.
4 avenues. I've syncretized.
He did. He says syncretized. Maybe it's some kind of South African slang.
Scriptures, Kemetic Egyptian mythology, Greek mythology, Norse mythology, a bit of the Bible, and a bit of the science we're taught today, mainstream science.
Oh, so he's going to take all these mythologies and just a little bit of science. Nothing could go wrong here. This could turn out pretty excellent. I don't see any problem with that. And well, sorry about the video. It is a little bit out of sync, and that's on my end. It's not the internet, just so you know. Or his video, I'm not sure.
There's a lot of truth in there, but I'm sure my argument is going to be quite compelling. I think there's no way to express it or to explain it in any words or level of consciousness that we have now. So we're going to try and use words that we can relate to.
Oh, words we could relate. So he is making up words. Okay, I thought it was me and my poor vocabulary, you know. Can never be too sure.
At best. This space is intelligent, conscious, it is beautiful, it is divine, it is holy. These are the building blocks of life. I prefer to call it electromagnetic pulses of sine wave or frequency.
Okay, electromagnetic pulses of sine wave. All right. So he looks like he has a lot of notes, a lot of research involved in this. So I can't really send you guys any PDFs of this, or you're really gonna have to make your own notes there. So if you want to take a second, grab some pen, grab a couple pens, maybe some crayons, and some notebook paper, you know, and we're gonna figure this out. This might be the model for us. He has science in here. He said so. You heard him say science. He said science.
Frequency, which is basically a star. This is the first star. This is God, the creator. We are all stars. Everything is Atu, as Santos always says. Everything's a star. It's all the same thing. We are stars. The sun that we look up at, you know, in the sky is a star. The stars in the firmament are stars. God is a star. Creation is a star. It is also worth mentioning that death is never permanent, okay? Death is never permanent. If we're all stars, like I've said, stars never die. Again, that star is far more intelligent than we are.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now Here comes the hook. He said we're all stars, but then he just said that star is more intelligent than us. That's not very nice. That's not a very positive message.
We are a star. We are probably at 5% intelligence.
Oh shit, that's it. We gotta be 5% of intelligence. I didn't know. Maybe we're only running at 2. This might cause a problem. We might have some difficulty understanding what he's talking about. But I got my pen and paper, so I got some colored pencils, and I'm gonna try to follow him. I'm gonna try to figure this out.
This intelligence is at 100. So now we've got at the top, positive polarity, okay, the beginning, creation. In the middle, we've got life, sustenance, and experience. This is where the circle of life happens. And at the bottom, we've got the end, death, destruction, negative polarity, right? These two are gravity. We've got blue shift and red shift. If you've watched Santos' videos, he talks about that quite a lot, red shift and blue shift. This is where it begins. This is the original blue shift and red shift. Blue shift at the top, red shift at the bottom, okay? The next bit was to now put form to the universe, okay? So now we've established, we've got at the top, we've got blue shift, blue fire, okay? At the bottom, we've got red fire, red shift. These are both polarity, magnetism, okay? Different forms of magnetism. Now,
it's always the magnetism. It's always a magnetism, but it's never gravity. But I think he's on board with gravity though, and magnetism, and science. So this model might be the one for me. I think this might be the one that convinces me, that the Earth is flat. So this might be the winning one. I'm really glad I did my research, and I really hope you guys do your research too, and you really find a model that is really suitable for your needs.
Mainstream science tells us that our Earth has got 3 layers, 3 inner layers. There's a crust, a mantle, an inner core, and an outer core.
I think that was 4 layers. I don't know. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was 4, but he said 3. Might be some Illuminati-ness happening in his model. So I don't know. Now I'm a little suspicious, but hey, if he has an ice wall, I'm still on board.
Right? But they tell us that this is on a spinning ball.
Yes, they do.
I'm saying that it is not.
Okay.
What they're actually trying to tell us is that these are the 4 layers in the Ben-Ben.
The Ben-Ben. Of course. Man, I don't know what he's talking about.
This is the cross-section, by the way. Okay? And I'll show you what it is a cross-section of. The crust, the mantle, the inner core, and the outer core inside the Earth. Which is basically...
Ooh, look at that. Look at that model. That is good. That looks like some straight scientism. Ooh, be nice to your model. Ooh.
This is the...
Oh my God. Do you see what I see? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? He looks like the pizza delivery guy. Delivering a pizza.
Ben. This is the Earth. Now this is the top half. So if you imagine this at the top, there's also a bottom bit, an upside down pyramid. Okay? And that is sitting on the great deep, on the waters below. And above, you've got the waters above, which are the atmospheres. Right? That this is what the whole Earth looks like. Our entire Earth is a pyramid mandala with 4 concentric rings. Right? 1.
All right. I'm sorry. There seems to be a problem in the chat. They don't seem to understand what he's talking about. Well, it's obvious that he's delivering a pizza. This looks like a large supreme here on the bottom. Right here, maybe a medium pepperoni. And at the top there, that's a side salad that you ordered when you ordered your pizza to, so you don't feel guilty and fat. Does that make any sense? Okay. Because, come on. you guys have ordered a pizza, looked through your peephole, or heard the doorbell ring, looked through your peephole, and this is what you see. This is what you saw. You can't deny that. I mean, you cannot deny that you have not seen this scene in reality.
2, 3, 4.
Pizzas.
Everything is in fours in the universe.
But the last diagram was 3. Whew. Man, okay. So some things are in 3s, some things are in 4. And then you say there's 3 things, but then you count 4. I'm kind of confused. Maybe this is the yin yang, you know? It could be it.
Right? All creation is in fours in the universe. Right? At the center, we've got what we now know as the Garden of Eden. So anyone who's been following our videos will know about this. The Garden of Eden's at the center.
Yes, I know.
This is where we are.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, the second ring. There's an outer ring.
Outer ring, got it. You guys following? Okay.
And an outer ring outside that. All separated by these mountains. What we call the Antarctica ice wall.
Okay, okay. I like it so far. Makes sense, makes sense.
Okay, this is our South Pole, the Antarctica. And the North Pole.
But how can a pole be a circle? I'm sure he'll explain it. I'm sure, you know. Give him a second. You know, I bet this guy made some really nice Valentine's Day boxes in elementary school. You know, when you take the little shoe box and you cut a little slit and put the foil around it, a little glitter and some little cardboard hearts, and, you know, then all the pretty girls, they put little cards in there that say hi and happy Valentine's Day, and I don't know. I never got any cards.
There is a mountain range separating us from the worlds at the center, from Eden, from Shambhala.
Shambhala. Okay, got it, got it.
Hyperborea.
Yeah, whatever he said.
Okay? And
okay.
outside they've got their own wall separating from this. This last one has got the great...
That's the crust. That's the crust of the pizza. I know that's what... I know he's going to say that. I hope it's cheese-filled. Maybe some little garlic butter. Ooh, this cosmic egg and cosmic pizza. It's kind of making me kind of hungry. Yes, we are going to put pineapple on the flat earth pizza. You know, if you don't want it, you can have the salad. We're having, Heat Shield and I are having the pineapple.
Called the Loka Mountains in Vedic scriptures. These are the Loka Mountains, the great mountains. Right? And these are the last mountains before the Taurus field, the cosmic egg.
Okay. Wow, this is mind-blowing. Okay, so we got the Taurus field, which is, you know, a donut, you know, a donut shape. We got the cosmic egg. We got pizza. We got salad. Jeez, is this a flat earth video or a lunch buffet?
It's something like this. Okay? From our perspective, from where we are. Right? Almost like those Russian dolls. Right? So there's one at the center.
That is totally like the Russian nesting dolls. Exactly like it. You know, when he was showing us all those pizzas, you know, I was like, man, that looks just like the Russian nesting dolls. And okay, I think I got this because we're on the same page. I mean, this is making some really serious sense. I'm so glad I brought this up, you know. I didn't think this guy had anything to offer, but man, it seems like he has it all. I mean, he has the science, the mythology, the ice wall, you know, some weird bird cage thing.
Taurus field like that. There's one on the outer world, a bigger one. Then there's a bigger one on the outside, right? Now, I noticed something very interesting about this. These toroidal fields, right, are probably oblate spheroids in shape. So when mainstream science or NASA says the Earth is an oblate spheroid,
they do. They said that. I've heard them say that. I really have. I mean, if you guys believe me or not, I've heard them say it. Mainstream science. I think it's on the mainstream science channel.
This is what they're telling us. They're kind of telling us a half-truth.
What?
Right? Which is why they can blatantly lie with a straight face.
Who would possibly... Why would anyone present a model and lie blatantly with a straight face, straight at the camera? Why would anyone do that? Oh man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I'm beginning to question reality. I mean, he's presenting some really solid arguments here. I mean, look at that face. I mean, does that look like the face of a liar? Oh no, man, not Babyface. Babyface wouldn't lie.
Because they know they're usurping the truth. And when it comes out, they'll just probably say, well, you're too stupid to understand what we're saying.
No, they wouldn't say that.
So this is in a blade spheroid. Underneath,
Yeah,
where we are,
yeah.
this is where the 4 layers would be. The crust, the mantle, inner core, and outer core.
See, he did it again. But did he just say 4 layers? Oh man, yeah. Maybe math isn't his strong point, but you know, you don't need math to like create dioramas out of like pizza boxes in aluminum foil. No, you just need like what is that? What's that app called? I forget. Whatever.
Just like
Pinterest. That's what it was. Pinterest.
mainstream science says.
Oh, is he gonna put it in the oven?
If that was the top of our toroidal field, from the top, this is where we live.
I like where this is going. This is making some serious sense right now.
Okay? Our torus field, our sun and moon, is the sun and moon that we see every day.
Every day.
It revolves around our torus field.
Yes.
These outer lands have got their own sun and moon, which are Mars and Venus.
What?
Okay? This outer land, they've got their own sun and moon as well, which is Saturn and Jupiter. The planets Saturn and Jupiter. The center is the only one that's an exception, because the sun and moon there are androgynous, and that's the planet Mercury.
Oh, Mercury's androgynous, like Freddie Mercury. He was pretty androgynous. I don't know. I'm confused again. Let me look at. I need to look at my paper here. And yeah, okay.
So Mercury is both a sun and a moon. Okay, at the center.
Okay, so Mercury is a sun and a moon at the center. Okay, and it's androgynous. Yeah, he lost me. I'm lost, and my notes are no good. I just have a bunch of scribbles here. It's not making any sense to me now. All right, well maybe he'll bring it back home.
So now we've got the 7 wandering planets. Mercury at the center, inside the sun.
Oh no. So Mercury is inside the sun? He just said that Mercury was the sun and the moon. But now it's inside the sun and it's androgynous? Whew.
Like mainstream science tells us, right?
Are you guys following this? He does have some serious skills. I just don't think it's in science. Oh, look at... Oh, yeah.
We have...
It's like Voltron Earth. Look at that. See, I knew he'd bring it back home. Yeah, he's in it to win it. He's going to bring it home. He's going to show us. We're going to be convinced. I'm going to have to change my name to the people of Flat Earth and, you know, submit a bunch of apologies and go through delete my comments. Oh, geez, I'm going to have to burn my half my library, delete video. Oh, boy. This is, I need to take a breath. I need to sit back. The cognitive dissonance is kicking in.
We have the universe, okay? I don't know if you can see it properly. Hopefully you can. Scoot down a little bit.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks. Whew. Yeah, look at that. Look at that beauty. Oh, my. It's gorgeous.
And this is the top half of...
Hold on. You see the little planets right there, like hanging on with some twist ties, and he has labels. He went all out. Now I wonder if his mom helped him with this. You know, this was like an after-school project or something. I mean, you know, it takes a lot of time to make bird cages. I mean, or you know what? You know, South Africa might have like a little bird cage shop. He just swung by and picks them up and. You know, I don't know what his thought process is. It's very interesting.
All the torus fields, of course, they run through the bottom as well, with the different suns and moons revolving around these torus fields in each of the lands. So, when NASA says they're going to Mars and they plan to go to Mars.
They do. See, he's saying facts. I mean, NASA has said that they're going to go to Mars. I mean, you know, there's some logic in here. But I have a feeling there's going to be a catch. I just have a sinking feeling that there's going to be a catch. I don't know. Would Babyface lie? He wouldn't look at the camera and lie.
They are telling the truth.
Yes, okay. We got that.
Mars are these outside lands, the outer lands, where Mars is the sun.
What? How can you go to Mars and it be the sun and it be the outer lands? Mars doesn't really have an atmosphere. So is it outside the firmament? Man, you guys have any idea?
Right? That is where Mars is. So they are planning to go to these outside worlds at some point.
Okay,
They're
good.
saying at the moment they can't get past the Van Allen belt.
Because we destroyed the technology and it's too hard to build it back up. I think I saw a video on that. So, yeah, he's definitely done his research. Because he's seen the same videos that I have.
But at some stage, they will be able to. And again, I'll explain why. Okay? So this is where Mars is. So outer space does exist.
Yes! Oh, hey, you guys heard it. You heard it. He said outer space exists. And boy, is he even a flat earther? I mean, he's breaking some serious boundaries here. I don't know, man. He needs to be careful, though. He's walking on some cosmic eggshells.
So all flat earthers out there saying that outer space doesn't exist, it does.
Yeah, it does. See? He knows. I mean, Martin Kenny, he's a flat earther. He says it does.
Okay? They spiral around these torus fields. Okay?
But Taurus is a donut, but it spirals up. Man, now I'm thinking like some ice cream sundaes now. Shoot. Did you guys order any ice cream when you ordered the pizza with the pineapple? I'm not very smart. Pizza places don't have ice cream.
Upwards and spiral outwards and down.
Okay.
That's what the sun does.
Okay, cool.
I think the moon follows a linear orbit. I don't think it spirals. I think it just follows one orbit.
Yeah, I don't think the moon spirals either. So we're on the same page with that. But I don't know about this ice cream sundae turtle donut field. He's confusing me again. I mean, I was on board when he looked like he was at the door with my pizza. I mean, I was following him. I felt him. I mean, like, yeah, that's my pizza delivery guy. But now I'm kind of confused again. And, you know, like I said, I didn't take very good notes. It just looks like a big scribbly mess.
Or if it does spiral, it's a much slower orbit up and down.
Okay.
And I'll explain why again.
I hope so.
Later.
I hope he does.
But I think for sure, the sun and moon, this is what creates our times, our seasons. When the sun is up here at the center, this is when the northern hemisphere have their summers.
Okay.
The sun is directly above them.
Okay, this is better than Bro Sanchez's model. His one was really weird, but, you know, this is much more convincing. I mean, hey, he's acknowledging the science, the sun, the seasons, the night and day. He's covering everything. He's covered a lot of ground. But how does this all fit into this cosmic egg, though? What? I hope he explains it, because I really hope he doesn't leave me hanging.
Above the North Star, above Polaris, at the center. When it's out here, spiraling at the edges, this is when the people of the southern hemisphere have their summers.
Yeah, serious. Stay tuned for part 2. Oh man, I downloaded this video. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Jesus. Oh, I didn't do my research. I failed. There's a part 2. We'll never know how this all ties together. And Jesus Christ, when's that pizza gonna get here? And you said you had pineapple on it, right? And I know we're not gonna get the ice cream, but oh man, I don't feel right. I feel empty. I feel empty. There's a part 2. I let you guys down. I always tell you to do your research. I let you down. I let you down. I let down the people of Earth. Okay. All right. Well, I got a little bit of a nosebleed from that. I think I got a brain hemorrhage. You need to grab some tissue. And my left eye is twitching. It might be a little bit of a seizure. Maybe I overworked something. I might have popped a blood vessel. My speech is kind of slurring, so I don't know. But Martin Kenny really did a number on me. He did something. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Okay, there's one more video. All right. So there you go. So this last video, we've seen what the UK offers as far as flat models, and we've seen what South Africa and whatever strange land Darren Nesbitt is from, Mr. Pac-Man Earth. So this last guy, he's from Texas. He's an American, and he also has a flat Earth model that he wants to share. And not all of us have the arts and crafts skills as the same as Martin. We don't have the skill with pizza boxes and aluminum foil to create such a complex model with bird cages and donuts and pizzas and side salads. So sometimes you have to just buy a model. I mean, you may not be able to draw well, or create a 3D model on your computer, So sometimes you just have to, save up your money, from flipping burgers, and you need to buy a model because everyone needs a model. I mean, the heliocentrists, they just go to Walmart and just, buy a little globe and they got their model and they're happy. But, as a flat earther, that's not always an option, So you need to have a model. You need to have a model. I mean, you need to have a model so you can make videos, show people, show your friends, because it's hard to explain things without a model. You could tell them, you could say, hey man, the earth is like this pizza, and this crust with the cheese and the garlic rubbed on it, and the pineapples, that's like the ice wall, and you could help them understand the flat earth theory. But not all of us are talented like these people. I mean, these are some seriously talented people. I mean, you've seen these 3D models and the honeybees, the honeybee planets orbiting around some imaginary point, So, not all of us have that talent, just to draw something that's accurately defines reality. So, if you're lucky, you have money and you could buy a model. You don't need to draw it. You don't need to render it in 3D. You don't need to use a dry erase board or aluminum foil and pizza boxes. You could just shell out, $4 or $5 grand and buy your own flat earth model. Then you could show your friends. And this is why I like this guy. That's right. You read that rightly. Right. LSD Earth. Sometimes, especially when you're a young flat earther, you might, bring home a small group of people from the nightclub back to your place, and you're going to hang out and smoke some LSD rocks and, get high and maybe smoke some ecstasy pills and get some back rubs and stuff. And, when everyone's all good and toasty, you want to bust out the flat earth model and explain them the flat earth theory. And there's only one way to do that properly, to really catch their interests, and that's LSD Earth.
Hi everybody, Chris Pontius here, the Flat Earth Model Builder, bringing you the latest creation. This is the 51-inch
LSD Earth
Mega Model. 3 years in development, well maybe not that long, but it's a dream I've had since I made the very first little one almost 3 years ago. And I'm known as the Flat Earth Model Builder guy now, so I had to make a big one. This has lots of cool features. The lights have numerous controls. It has a bottom light under here that you can control one color just to kind of downwash the floor. Then this dome has got the rainbow chase light with all kinds of cool patterns on here. The rainbow pattern, it does all kinds of different things depending on if you like that sort of thing, or just put it on a regular solid color. The dome slowly rotates around a little slower than the sun and moon do. I made a custom frame out of tiger eye maple and put a real nice satin lacquer finish on it and made a custom stand for it. The next one I build is going to be able to hang vertical on the wall, but I have to use a different guide system because it's so heavy on the front. They either have to be engineered to run flat or run vertical. It's a lot of fun to make, and I love making these, and I hope to see these in the schools and the science museums someday to help educate and inspire people. So if you're interested in seeing more about it or want to buy one, go to flatearthmodels.com. And thanks for watching.
Well, yeah, check that out. You'll be the coolest man in town. Could you imagine smoking some LSD rocks with your friends, all tripping balls, watching the earth spin around? That would be a nice day. I mean, who needs reality when you have LSD Earth? You don't. All you need is your model. You just go home every day and hug your model, hug your flat model. And, you know, that guy's in Texas, and those models run, you know, anywhere from like $2,000 to like $5 or $6 or $7,000. I don't know, it's been a while, but every time you go to the website, they're sold out. So don't get your hopes up, guys. Pick it up your LSD Earth, you know. But you know, if you smoke enough LSD rocks, you could probably just stare at the carpet, and you know, you would just hallucinate your own Earth. You know, you don't really need to blow all that money, you know. But I strongly suggest you do your research. You find the model that best suits you, that fits your personality. You know, one that you can hold on to and love and tell all your friends about. Because you can't go through life without a model of the Earth. And you know, comments like this, you know, they hurt me. They make me sad. Models are pseudoscience. That comment is pseudoscience. I mean, I just showed you like 20, 11,000, 10 videos and different models, and you know, I took the time to explain, and you know, some of the narration, they help explain their models. And you know, I hope we offered some very convincing points. But yeah, I'm sad to see that UK isn't really bringing, you know, the flat models to the table like they used to. I mean, back in the 60s, the UK had the best flat models. I mean, models you could really get behind and really get in there and support. And you know, like we have Twiggy Lawson, you know, an excellent flat model from the UK. I don't know if she's a Twiggy is a working flat model, I think she might be retired. But at one time, you know, this was a working flat model from the UK. And, you know, that's definitely someone I can get behind, you know. And I hope you guys can too. I mean, she's not the only one. I mean, there was plenty of UK flat models. I mean, I don't know what happened. They really dropped the ball. I mean, it's the year 2018. There should be flat models coming out of the UK like crazy. I mean, we have a Gene Tripton here, another excellent flat model from the UK. I mean, definitely. I mean, there's no ice wall, but I could definitely get behind that flat model. I'll tell you that. And, you know, but there are maybe, I believe Kate Moss is a working flat model from the UK, and could be someone that are a flat model you can get behind. There's really no reason why you can't find a flat model. I mean, it doesn't have to be from the UK. I mean, if you got the money, go down to Texas and go pick yourself up one of those LSD Earths. Yeah, they don't have any. I'm sorry, Terry. There aren't any newer flat models. Not from the UK. They just dropped the ball. I mean, I don't know. It's really disappointing. Well, that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I hope I enlightened you, and I hope I helped you guys possibly, you know, when you see a flatty in the comments section that boo-hoo, sour grapes, I don't need a flat model. You know, before you go and make fun of them and throw rocks at them, you know, help them out. Help them find a flat model, you know. Everyone needs one. Everyone needs a model of the Earth that they can support, tell their friends about, and make YouTube videos about. You know, we need to think about the greater good of the people of the Earth, you know, not just the people of flat Earth. So that's all I have tonight.